satisfactory preparation.
Now, you recently performed a study on the
have indeed looked after Bihar medical graduates and indeed overseas doctors. But far more important than that is among the drugs that are used for hypertension, angina, no doubt tenormin stands out singularly high. I cannot escape Stuart. Stuart used to live at Chile. When I moved into Winslow, lo and behold, I found their headquarters had moved into Winslow too. Use of monit in conjunction with tenormin as a prophylactic use of angina has been well established. There are, of course, a lot of other ways of treating a drug, but I myself have used tenormin, particularly because my practice involves patients with asthma, obstructive airways disease, and angina or hypertension. I find if I had to use selective beta blockers, I'd rather use tenormin than any other drugs. Of course.
Yes. For putting up the exhibitions, presentations, sponsoring lectures. Thank you very much. And
I think it will be only befitting to say how glad I am to be with you in this our reunion. Over the past so many years, members of the medical fraternity getting together throughout the country and all over the world. It is my privilege and pleasure to be with you as the President of the Bihar Medical Graduates Association, of whose reunion we are celebrating today. It is so nice to see this meeting, this reunion increases in its quality and quantity from day to day. Not only we see more attendances, improved facilities, but keenness of the officers who so kindly take so much trouble to organize this sort of thing. Dr. Srivastava and his committee have done tremendous well this year to bring us here in Solihar. I, for one, am very grateful to the honor that you have given me over the past couple of years to be the president of this organization, and amongst my achievements, I consider this as the most privileged one. I hope the rest of the meeting today and rest of the day will be very peaceful and enjoyable. We have come here primarily to say hello to you all, say how are we, how are you, and have a good time. Annual general meeting is an essential thing, and I welcome you to the annual general meeting and welcome you for the rest of the day's meeting. Thank you for electing me a president. Thank you.
Dr. Dhuniswaran is one of our very active executive members, and I feel really ashamed that his name has been omitted on this list. I hope you will forgive me for this.
So is Dr. Alam.
Dr. Alam as well, is it?
Dr. Alam's name is not there.
He's not there as well?
No,
How is it?
no problem. Dr. Hemal.
Very
Now in this leaflet that you have got here, whatever was discussed has been mentioned, the minutes and all that is there. If you like to go into this, and if you think that's correct, then request the President to sign on your behalf after you have proposed and seconded for its approval. Which was held at Liverpool. And Dr. A.K. Sharma was the organizing secretary, and his team. They worked very hard, and you can see that it is a very hard job in any case. Very hard job. And despite all these efforts and hard work, there have been a few shortcomings, of which I'm very sure quite a few members must have felt very bad of it. They must have reasons to complain about. And we have been told the matter was very seriously discussed in the executive about the shortcomings and after necessary discussions. Elaborate arrangement that you are seeing here, which of course costs a lot of money, but I'm sure you will find a difference here. All these people really have worked very hard. Nobody does anything intentionally. Nobody does things wrong by deliberate action or thought. This is what unfortunately does happen. So I hope that here is a short report that again is printed here, which gives you a brief summary of what happened actually in Liverpool last year.
To invite the Bihar medical graduates to have the reunion in that particular part. We usually have competitions. I hope we will have again today. I think you now ought to decide today where you are going to form the next reunion meeting. We have had various parts. It is your responsibility today to find a venue, and maybe this is the time to tell the present organizers and the pharmaceutical company who has shown interest that our venue will be so and so place. I think we ought to propose and second a place where we should have the next meeting next year. I am open for suggestion. I think you are right, sir.
We have already had 2 meetings in London.
That's true.
Mr. Chairman, although I did not go there,
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 suggestions. Where is Bhupender Prasad? Bhupender, you are here now. He can't. He's not here.
I second Leeds meeting.
Well, we have a suggestion here for Leeds, proposed and seconded.
Dr. Sharma, you wanted it somewhere in Canada.
Have you any other proposed and seconded? And I can't really believe that we will have a Bihar Medical Graduates reunion in London and Bhupender not getting involved in it. Any other suggestions?
Cardiff.
There's a name?
Yes.
Sir.
Since last 2 consecutive years, we have been having, we had in Oldham, we had in Liverpool, this time we are holding here.
Dr. Misra was whispering to me, saying that he had one in Wales 2 years ago, 3 years ago. My personal guidance to you, much as though I would love to be in Yorkshire, I think time has come for us to move down south a little bit, and I for one, well, let's have the other way first. Those who are in favor of Leeds. Secondly, can you put your hands down now? Those who are in favor of London. With a decision where we should have it next year. We got a organizing group from Leeds. Thank you. Gentlemen, no, don't clap, just let's listen to that. I'm glad that at least there's a keen competition having 2 people standing up saying that, yes, I will organize next year and year after. Can I have now hands for Leeds?
Sir, I like to speak Leeds.
I'm asking Leeds.
No, wait.
Pardon?
I like to speak.
Just one.
Yes. We will have to decide now, 48 to 12 or 14. My arithmetic is not very good. It is obvious that you want Leeds next year. Therefore, can we then agree, subject to London's acceptance, that in 1988 we should have it in London?
Yes.
Upender, will you bring your committee next year to Leeds to show us that you are doing to do that? Yes. Thank you. Come round here.
I will second it.
Proposed and seconded. Alan and Dr. Mishra is going to organize it. The balance sheet in front of you. If there are any queries, I'm prepared to answer, but the report as such is quite self-explanatory. And as you can see, from last year we still have a balance of about just over £2,000. I think that's not too bad. It says for the last year the collection was 7,080 and balance from 1984 is 2,291. So I think we must here congratulate the last year's organizing committee, but must give the credit to the person sitting next to me on my left hand side, Dr. Sinha. I think the way he has managed our finances, thank you, and in a very old-fashioned term, I will say, may your tribe increase. Set up a benevolent fund. Now the main criteria for any association or an institution to set up a benevolent fund is that you have to be registered as a charitable society first of all. Now to do that we need to be registered with the registrar's office, which is a centrally placed office in London, and get ourselves registered as a charitable society. The second step obviously is that we have to show what exactly charity are we sponsoring and so on. I have suggestions from various members, if there are any, to suggest about further charities, but you have to show that it is a charitable organization. We have intention of helping our parent medical institutions back home. I think you must decide now and today whether you want us to go ahead to register ourselves as a charity. It is important that we did, because he will be very soon getting a notice from the Inland Revenue about his interest that he is getting in his funds. And I think while we ought to pay what is belonged to Caesar's, we ought to see all our funds used for benevolent needs rather than anything else. I myself would like us to register as a charity every annual general meeting, and the opinion has been divided most of the times. Now, one thing for any association to be recognized as a sort of permanent association or a long-lasting association, they usually want to see that there is a regular number of membership on your register. And any association which is so-called charitable organization like Rotary, Lions or your BMA, or they all have some sort of membership. And for that, if you can show that yes, you have got a regular membership list and there is certain amount of subscription which is paid into, I mean that might help, or that would certainly help towards getting it registered as a charitable company. So you have to consider that in that point of view as well, and I leave it open for the secretary to propose, or if there is any other member on the floor who want to propose about this. But that's, from my point of view, the value of having a membership fee or a regular subscription, whatever you like to call it. I am so glad that you saved the embarrassment of my introducing him, because he does not need introduction. Side. And he has come. I'm glad you managed to come. you are most welcome guest. Now, first of all, you have heard your treasurer's request for discussion about membership. Do we need a membership? This is the question. And I am entirely on at your mercy. I'm not going to give my opinion about it. I think you should decide whether you want a formal organization or whether you want a loose organization that we are here, we are. You have decided to become a charity. If you have become a charity, I think charity would ask you to know, have we got your membership? You can say, I often say to the other places, all Bihar graduates are members. That is what it should be. But I think you have to decide. I think you want to say something. Come down here, will you?
I'm sure I'm quite audible from here. We started our union about 7 years ago. We look into our past history every year.
Are you £5, £10 or not? You have decided no. May I call on Dr. A.K. Sharma?
Mr. President, there is one thing that I would like to very seriously request you to search in your own heart. That subject is of thinking about our children, our family, small or big, teenagers who are facing lots of problems for one reason or the other. Post of a welfare secretary, which is Dr. A.K. Sharma is representing.
Well, somebody why will not let me go in?
Right.
Thank you. Yes.
No discussion about this.
I'm a very sensitive
You have spoken. You have spoken.
I'm a very sensitive person.
I always thought my wife does what I tell her to do.
Medical graduates union, not our children's union. That's first thing. It's not a family union. If they come, it's up to them. Many wives do not come.
They have to find their own way. They have to go.
That's right. You don't complicate Bihar Medical Graduates Union by complicating these things. That's right.
Well, Mr. President, thank you very much for saying so. But at the same time, I'm sure your children do realize the problem of not having social life in this country.
That is their concern.
And having said so, I see no one should be so offended on this proposition. I'm not anyone who can take the lead as my own. I would like to say those who are in favor of this, but before you come to this, surely it's personal matter. Nobody is going to enforce upon you. It's only a service you should be proud of rather than criticizing. But having said all those things, those who are in favor of this service, which is totally optional, there is no compulsion. Those who want to participate, yes. Those who do not want to participate, that's also yes. So in view of that, those who are in favor of this, will they raise their hand? All right, the gentleman wants to say something.
With this proposal that you have made, there should also be a paper circulated for, in that case, what our children are doing.
Yes.
You see, somebody should take charge of that.
What I'm saying that this is only just a thought that goes through the mind. If you will agree that the welfare secretary will exercise the further details of this procedure, if you find it's not acceptable, nothing is happening to you after all. Nothing is happening to you after all.
The names and addresses of all the children should be mentioned in this booklet. And if they want to exchange their name and
Yes,
addresses, most welcome.
But Mr. President, in order to do that, what I'm only saying that if we have one man who is able to organize the whole affair,
Yes.
that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking, nothing else.
Do you want to say something about the proposal? And I'll ask the secretary to submit in writing next year what his plans are. Is that all right? Have to be now. Well,
electing too many office bearers.
Listen.
Secretary, so many
I think you're absolutely right in what you said. I think you have decided that you didn't want to put this matter on the vote even. Is that your real, all of you? All are agreed.
Well, Mr. President, in that case, can I suggest, would you like to put the same thing before the teenagers who are busy downstairs or upstairs? Would you approve the idea that they should have a small committee to develop their own friendship, or you don't agree to that? What is your proposal on that?
They don't know what they do.
Allow me to see this. Sorry.
I think you want to say something. Come along.
आइए सरपंच
That this is a social function, a social activity, or social exchanges, and there the family have got to come in, and they cannot exclude the family.
Gentlemen, looks as though that, as Mahesh says, you have given thumbs down to the proposal, and I for one would leave it at that for the time being. If your General Secretary would like to discuss to the children, that's another matter, and he can bring it to the Executive Committee later on.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I object to that. We have not given thumbs down. When we asked for the vote, the voting was overwhelmingly in favor of the proposal. Until somebody mentioned that it was not to be put to vote. But the first voting.
Secretary Dr. G.P. said, we visited from the country, I'm just forgetting, sir.
Zambia.
He's our
You have to come up this way. I think you will have to come and collect. Thank you, Dr. Said.
next one is Dr. R.K. Prasad, on back, Patna 1955.
Dr. R.K. Prasad, Pontifac, 1952. Come on, Ram Kishore. You didn't know you're getting a prize, did you? Next is Dr. K. Alam, Khurshid Alam. Next is Dr. G.D. Jha, Scotland. Next is Dr. Mahesh Mishra. Next is Dr. D. Mishra, 1954 Darbhanga.
He is listening to this country. Here, Dr. D. Mishra.
Next is Dr. M.A. Zaman. Come on. Next is Dr. S.S. Singh. S.R. Singh, Darbhanga 1956.